Destroying Destiny, Book 2, The Tooth Bully, Chapter 14, A Peach in the Night. On the other side of the Syrup River and in the peach orchard, nightfall continues to fall upon the setting sun's last moment of sitting on the orange and peach horizon, while the peach owls quietly coo and hoo in the night in search of nocturnal delights. Frog crickets softly chirp and hardly burp, while flashlight bugs flicker in flight over a yellow sugar water pond that teems with life and oddly emits its own light into the night. "This looks perfect," Gertrude smiled. "I agree," Steve agreed. "I can really see the appeal. I could go without the frog crickets." "Wow, way to look on the bright side, Pancake," Steve zipped. She rolled her eyes. "I was going to say, speaking of the bright side, that I could go without the frog crickets, but the sugar water pond is beautiful, like a drop of the sun." "I don't think I've ever seen a sugar water pond quite like it. Yellow and glowing," Gertrude marveled, stepping into it. "Oh, Gertrude, don't wade into it. You'll get Steve, Luciano, and most importantly, the map wet. Don't you know how deep it is?" Pancake cringed. "Or what's in it?" "Sugar water and frog crickets," the boy laughed, looking into the water. "Oh, and the occasional sugar crystal on the bottom. Come on in, Pan. When is the last time you had some fun? Besides, we're going to stop for the night anyways." "Well, I don't want to wash off all the sugar on my skin, 'cause I'll blister in the morning." "It's sugar water. You'll be fine. It'll clean off some of the mud and nastiness." "Well, Come on, Pan!" "No!" the girl said, crossing her arms and holding back a smile. "Not until you take Steve off so our stuff stays dry." Fine. Whatever you say," Gertrude said, tripping on a sugar crystal into the water. "Oh, pears, Gertrude!" Pancake cried, seeing the backpack come off the boy's back. Making a splashy sploosh, the candy girl splished in to snatch Steve out, only to be invited into a trip and a slip with a flip out into the water by a frog cricket squirming underfoot under her foot. After a struggle and a couple cuts from the sugar crystals, Pancake trudged out of the pond with Steve as Gertrude followed behind her, a frog cricket hopping out of his thick hair. "You piece of sloth goat dung!" the candy girl huffed, cinnamon swirling from her nose with frustration. "You probably ruined the map and hurt Luciano, and the Easter egg was probably crushed in the process, too." "Steve probably got ripped, too," Steve zipped. "Ridiculous, Gertrude, really!" "Oh, stop it, Steve. Don't you realize there are lives at stake here?" she said, rummaging through the backpack. She took a sigh of relief, laying the items out on the ground. "Well, we got lucky. The map's fairly dry, Luciano's cocooning the egg, both wet but intact." Pancake shook her head, fumed some cinnamon, then looked back to Gertrude. "You guys need to grow up some. Stop being total moose and start being the heroes you claim to be. Steve jokes left and right and stops only to say some guru's wisdom. And Gertrude, you're not much better with your ego, wasting precious time at the pig pen." Gertrude's brow furrowed. "And you need to stop throwing words around like pear and moose and my ego. Ego? What ego? What ego? Come on, Gertrude. I saw when you looked into the mirror of fear. I saw your problem. You fear failure, and you failed back at the dungeon," slamming your fist on the ground and accidentally crushing a frog cricket. "Gross!" "Well, at least I can hit and take down my targets, unlike you with your arrows." "Need I remind you who got this?" the girl cried, holding up the key from the islands of the east. "Now, guys, I think the best advice I can give you is if you can't say anything nice, not to say anything at all." "Zip it, Steve!" the boy and the girl yelled in unison before storming off. "Well, that's just what I've heard," Steve whispered. "Steve!" "Got it. Zipped." Only the frog crickets' cricketing could be heard over the whispered, frustrated musing of the boy and the girl for quite a time. Gertrude whispered, "Pancake the pain. She thinks she can just go around calling people moose and pears." While Pancake muttered, What a moose and pear. Goes around slicking his nice dark hair back like it's some kind of rare horse-elephant mane or something. And if I didn't know better, his dad probably convinced him of it too. He was always arrogant, too. Like father, like son. Pear didn't fall far from the tree. An odd, glowing aura caught the girl's attention. What's that? What's what, Pancake the Pain? That's on you. What, are you done being angry, Pancake? Gertrude responded. No, Pancake fumed, but what is that? What's the glow on you? Huh? Gertrude huffed, turning around. What glow? Oh, Pancake. His eyes widened. You're glowing. Gosh, I understand why you guys were jerks. Steve zipped, becoming unzipped. You guys have a special kind of flirting and have the chitters for each other. Calling each other glowing and stuff. Next thing I know, I'll have a pair of flirting teens with the chitters. No, Steve, I don't have the chitters for Gertrude. You don't? Well, I mean, Pancake paused for a second. No, I don't have the chitters for Gertrude. I mean, you're glowing too, Steve. Oh, wow, Pancake, I didn't know you felt that way about backpacks. Looking at his hands in nervous wonder, Gertrude said, Steve, no, we're literally glowing. Like me, you, Pancake, the cocoon, the egg. We're all glowing yellow. I'm blinded by the bright light, Steve zipped. Perhaps this is less bothersome for the blind, but once again, Steve, zip it, Pancake said. It's getting brighter. What's happening, Gertrude? I don't know. Brighter and mightier, the yellow glow grew, and our heroes in fear didn't know what to do. Frog crickets flighted speedily away, as did peach owls on a mood-bathed flight in dismay. With a bright might, the light shined, waking up morning creatures and making all think destiny had changed it from night. But all the morning creatures soon discovered they were not in the right, because suddenly the glow stopped and it was still night. Oh, what just happened? Pancake fretted, a gumdrop tear dropping as she looked up and down her body. You look okay? Do you feel okay, Pan? Normal? Yeah, and you look normal, the girl said, then rushed over to the backpack and the cocoon and egg and patted them down. Everything looks fine. You sure? Yeah. That was frightening. Pancake sighed, letting another gumdrop tear fall as she brought her knees to her chest and looked at the pond. What just happened? I'm not sure. Bet it has to do with the pond, though, Gertrude said, sitting down next to her. Want a peach? Found a good one over there. No, I don't want a peach. Nothing's changed. I'm still mad at you. Scared of what happened, but still mad. Pancake huffed, scooting away. Oh, come on. Gertrude grinned, combing his hair back with his hand. So do you have the chitters for me? Good night, Gertrude. And with that, the boy smirked, the girl rolled her eyes, and the Pancake wondered if the girl really did have the chitters for the boy, as they pondered the meaning of their glowing instants under the moon and peach trees.